Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chill Talks podcast, where we discuss anything and everything over a cup of coffee and where conversations happen. So, I am your host, PJ, and this interview would not be possible without the help of Miss Michelle and Bookshelf PH. So, you can check out a wide variety of books na pwede niyong kunin sa kanila. So, thank you so much, Bookshelf PH, for allowing this conversation to happen. So without further ado, our guest for today is one of the most famous international host and speaker, and also an author of the book Lost You, Found Me, available on Bookshelf PH, link down below, as well as the founder of the social startup.co, Miss Zara Carbonell. Thank you so much for accepting this interview, and kamusta? How was your week today?
Hi, PJ. Thank you so much for letting me be here. I'm actually super excited. I've been looking forward to this conversation also. This week is same naman. I just actually came back from Bali. I went to parang a surprise birthday getaway by my fiance. And it was relaxing. So I'm back to reality now, and I'm just happy that I'm able to do what I love talaga.
Okay. And it's glad to know na before we proceed with this conversation, advance congratulations in advance for the proposal, the engagement. Best of luck sa kasal ninyo this year. And one good luck sa kanya. So, one of the most interesting things ng I looked you up sa Instagram mo is that you are a fan of American football or football in general. So,
Yeah.
I'm very curious na ano ang nag-udyok sa'yo mag-start sa football given na ang Philippines ay very basketball-oriented ang sports scene natin dito?
Si Steve talaga. So, when we started dating, he introduced me to flag football. Obviously, I know what American football is, but I never heard of flag football. And then he brought me to a game. As someone who grew up as an athlete, I got hooked to the game right away. And it was so easy to learn. The community was super warm. It was thrilling in a sense na ang bilis kasi ng mga pangyayari, ang bilis ng games. One half is just 15 to 20 minutes depending on how you're playing the game, no? And sobrang bait ng community that everyone's supporting me kahit na first time ko maglalaro, talagang nilagay nila ako sa tournament right away. And then from there, I got super into flag football that now we were able to build a company called Manila Flag Football League. And in just a year, we were able to become the biggest flag football tournament in the country already. So, exciting talaga.
Yes, and congrats on that success. An additional question for sure sa mga katulad namin na hindi aware on how footballing works. How would you explain it to people na para mas maging engaged sila sa sports aside sa nakasanayan nating basketball, boxing, billiards, like that?
Okay, so sige. Obviously may dalawang team, 'di ba? So ang goal nyo sa isang team is makadating kayo sa pinakadulo ng kabilang field. Yun yung pinaka-touchdown area nyo or yung end zone nyo. And for you to be able to do that, yung quarterback nyo, bale, sasabihin ka, okay, you're gonna run straight, tapos magta-turn left ka. Yung isa mo namang teammates, run straight, turn right ka. Basta lahat kayo may routes. Yung tawag naman, may routes kayo. Pagdating mo sa position mo, ibabato ng quarterback mo yung bola. Pag nasalo mo, you're just gonna run forward as fast as you can. And if someone pulls your flag, mag-stop ka lang kung saan ka napula ng flag, tapos ulit na naman. So, ganun lang siya. Sobrang simple. Tapos, pagdating na sa pinakadulo, may touchdown area or yung end zone nga na tinatawag. Pag nasalo yung bola at nandun ka na sa area, may 6 points na kayo.
Oh, that's nice. Kasi alaalala ko kasi when it comes to American football, kaya ako naging interested bigla doon. Because when we were young, kami ng mga tropa ko, nod kami ng anime na iShield 21. And yung anime na yun is all about American football. So, trinay namin laruin. It's physically demanding compared to, let's say, basketball. Mas masakit at mas masakit siya. Were you able to tackle someone or na-tackle ka ba while playing flag football?
So, the good thing is, flag football is parang a non-contact version of American football. Kasi sa American football, para pigilan ka nila, they have to tackle you. The flag football, they just have to pull your flag. Pero
Okay.
syempre, meron pa rin contact. Kunwari, hindi naman sinasadya na mababangga ka, nasa taas yung bola, pares kayong sasalo, minsan may contact, it happens. But we also try to keep it as safe as possible for everyone. That's why we have the rule book, di ba? Pero oo, napapatid naman ako, nababangga naman din ako minsan na parang hihila ako ng flag tapos makakaladkad ako sa floor. It happens, but it's part of the game.
Yes, it's part of, parang minsan nga yun pa yung mas enjoyable part ng laro na pag less contact, ay parang ang boring naman ng larong to. Masyadong play safe.
Mas nakaka-excite, tama. Mas nakaka-excite siya kasi yun yung thrill na sinasabi ko sa'yo na talagang ang kalaban mo parang boys na malalaki or they've been doing this for many years and to be able to play alongside them is already a privilege na tingnan mo, kinaya ko siya.
Yes.
So yun.
And parang this is before matangent ito sa next segment natin, is that ano sa tingin mo ang kailangan ng flag football as a sport para maging siyang mainline sport din like basketball or yung kung ano yung mga nakasanayan natin?
I think for now, at least for MFL, we're focusing on really shedding light or bringing awareness to flag football kasi ang pinaka-question lang naman ng mga tao ngayon, ano ba yung flag football?
Yes.
Pero alam mo, sobrang interesting. Every time na may kinakwentuhan ako ng flag football, sumasali sila almost immediately. In fact, most of our athletes na naglalaro sa MFL, first-time flag football players. Minsan, yung mga professional athletes from the rugby team, from the soccer football team of the Philippine team, sumasali sila pag nalaman lang kung ano yung flag football. So it's very fun. It's if you're an athlete, it's easy to pick up. It's very warm yung community, and I think that's really the first step. And then later on, for us to kind of formalize, create more games, more opportunities for female athletes especially. So nakaka-excite siya kasi ang daming possibilities talaga for flag football in the Philippines.
Kasi parang maganda rin siya imagine na parang NCAA or yung mga local schools na nag-host ng ganun. Talagang mas thrilling siya compared sa ano.
Yeah.
Sorry sa mga basketball fans ko dito. Parang okay. So in line with the next segment, one of the things that I found interesting researching about you is that you are also a marketing expert, a marketing manager, a marketing guru, so to say, na kung saan
Grabe yung guru.
Na kung saan people are no longer appreciating the value of a good marketing tactic. Kasi parang what they see on social media, mostly clicks na lang, at nakukuha na lang yung attention, okay na. Hindi nila nakikita yung process for yung marketing process. So, without sharing everything na alam mo, kasi baka maisip mo, ay baka free consultation lang ang habol nito ni PJ. Without divulging everything, can you tell us kung ano ang pinaka masayang part and challenging part paggawa ng isang marketing campaign?
I think it's deep diving into people's minds. Kasi for you to be able to market something effectively, you have to be able to understand who you're trying to market to. Diba? Kunwari, for us sa Flag Football League namin, kailangan namin isipin sino ba ang mga mahilig na mag-flag football at sino ba ang sa tingin namin magiging parang magugustuhan nila yung flag football. So that's really step one, is understanding your target market and seeing that potential. And yung potential na yun, yung second part, I guess, is really creating a future or a reality that could be based on what you have right now. So naka-excite talaga because you get to learn so much about other people na hindi mo inakala na ganito pala sila. Minsan, meron kang idea na, kunwari, pag athlete sa mga kausap mo, ito yung mga post na gagana para sa kanila. Pero pag pinost mo, hindi pala. Tapos you recreate it and try something new and then magugulat ka lang, yun yung papatok. The same way na kung ano yung MFL ngayon, parang there are so many possibilities that it could be in the future. And I'm just using MFL as an example kasi ito yung pinagkakaabalahan ko ngayon.
Yes.
Yun, it's really creating that future and understanding people more.
Yes. And also as a marketer for how many years? Correct me if I'm wrong, you've been in the marketing world for about almost a decade now, or is it lower?
Lower naman.
Lower
Ganun ba?
naman. Okay. Pero at least mahabang panahon pa rin.
Oo.
Oo.
Mhm.
Given your expertise and experience naman sa marketing, ano ang mga nakikita mong maganda sa naging evolution ng marketing sa Philippines during the early 2000s? Ano yung maganda sa marketing noon at ngayon? At ano naman yung hindi maganda sa marketing noon at ngayon?
Okay. I think, one, regarding the hindi maganda, feeling ko lahat kasi siya parang learning experience for all of us. If anything, ang hindi, at least for me, hindi ko masyadong feel is yung hard sell marketing talaga. But, to some industries, it's effective, or yung cold calling and talagang benta, 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 right? But what's nice about the evolution of marketing is now it's becoming more organic, more human, more authentic. That people are interested actually in hearing a story from someone, understanding ano ba ang pinagdaanan ng taong to, or understanding ano bang mangyayari sa akin pag nag-subscribe ako dito, or pag bumili ako ng idea na to or ng bagay na to. So it's more focused on resonating with your ideal clients than just exaggerating whatever your product or your value proposition is.
Okay, that's a very good analysis. Na-appreciate ko yun kasi parang sa part ko hindi ko rin napansin yung ganong evolution pala na dati cold calling tapos naging story-based na yung commercials from certain fast food chains. Oo.
Diba?
O nga no.
Kahit yung mga kape, dati ano lang siya, 3-in-1 with, sabihin mo, less sugar. Ngayon, may kwento na. Anong kwentong whatever brand?
Anong kwentong, kasi hindi tayo sponsor ng brand, so.
Sa fast food, wait na lang daw.
So bale, as a consumer naman, sa mata ng isang consumer, minsan ba ay ginejudge mo rin ba yung mga marketing tactics ng mga brands na nakikita mo? Or na-appreciate mo siya as a consumer? Kasi given the fact na alam mo yung industry sa marketing, sa advertising, may mga times ba na, ay, pangit naman ng commercial na to. Ang ganda ng product pero ang pangit ng commercial na to. Or despite the presentation, ay enjoy mo pa rin siya? Or hindi ka masyadong critical sa mga advertising ng ibang brands?
I think as human, we are critical about the things that we actually care about. And so hindi ko rin matanggal sa akin kung makita ko commercial na feeling ko, sana hindi nila to ginawa. Or sana ibang direction na lang yung parang tinackle nila. I still have that at the back of my head, but also I am understanding because, what I'm learning is that people have to take wild risks for us to learn. People have to take wild risks for us to evolve, diba? And sometimes it's detrimental. Most often than not, it's detrimental. Like, for example, yung aviation industry natin, kunwari, ang daming aksidente na kailangan mangyari para matuto tayo ng matuto for us to have the safety regulations we have now for us to be able to fly to different countries, to different parts of the country safely. The same way na there are so many people who have gotten into a rocket to go to the moon. Alam mo yun, na parang ang dami, and there's danger involved and there are risks. Syempre, I'm just giving you like a more tangible example, but it's the same with marketing. Sometimes you have to take a risk and, kind of bite the bullet. If it doesn't work out. It happens.
Yes. Kasi I think
I do respect kahit na parang feeling ko,
at least they're trying.
Tumaya sila.
Yes.
That's the hardest thing not to do, actually.
Kasi naalala ko before, hindi na tayo magsasabi ng brands. It's either hindi tayo sponsor or baka makasuhan tayo. I think I remembered certain commercials na borderline racist talaga siya. Na if you're using this product, ganito yung kulay mo, pangit ka. Tapos pag nag-iba yung kulay mo, okay ka na. Hindi naman sa Philippines yun, pero I think nagkaroon ng ganong close experience sa Philippines. Buti na lang hindi na siya naging tuloy-tuloy na naging common na sa atin.
Generated so much hate online. I think there's another brand na will not be named, but it's like an eye brand.
Yes.
Na, okay, pag hindi mo to suot, mataba yung nakikita mo.
Yes.
Parang
yeah.
everyone's like, Okay, tapos what's wrong with that?
Yeah, parang, there's something wrong. Minsan nga natuturo ko yun sa mga students ko eh. Para there's something wrong in this commercial. If hindi nyo makikita yung mali sa commercial na yun, you have to look deeper pa. Okay. And also ngayon ko lang sumagi sa utak ko, as a marketer, what's your opinion about AI generated marketing tools? Kasi marami na ngayon na automated na yung lahat, na baka nga madami nagsabi na hindi na kailangan ng mga marketers, tamang keywords lang okay na. So what's your say sa ganong innovation na nangyayari dito?
I mean, like anything, they're tools, right? It's really a matter of how you use them. And I know gasgas na tong line na to, but it's true. With AIG talaga, you have to know how to use it, because at the end of the day, yung consumer mo tao pa rin.
Yes.
So kahit na i-automate mo lahat ng ginagawa mo, if hindi naman suwak sa emotions ng kausap mo, wala ring mangyayari. But if you're able to utilize that tool to still be able to reach your target consumer ng may emotions, then good for you. Because at the end of the day, we make decisions based on emotions first. And then we kind of just fill in the blanks at the back of our head na dahil feel ko to, i-justify ko at the back of my head kung bakit ito yung tamang answer.
Yes. Yes. Kaya parang based on parang nauuso din yung kataga na yung buyer's remorse, na bibili ka muna, tas saka ka magsisisi na masyadong I bought it on impulse. And kanina napag-usapan natin na dapat kahit papaano as human beings, we should be critical on what we think, on how we feel. And during your process sa pagsusulat ng Lost You Found Me that tackles your experiences during your early 20s, mid-20s, how critical were you in analyzing your personal experiences and how it can be summarized into something that people can easily understand?
Well, I was super critical on myself. And I clearly remember, it is shared in the book, there came a point, may pivotal moment talaga ako na sabi ko sa sarili ko, okay, why am I doing what I'm doing? Ako ba talagang may decision nito? Or is it just because of my upbringing? Is it just because of my experiences? I want to be the captain of my own ship, which is why chapter one happens. And then I just kept rowing forward from there, and I just made sure that I did everything with my eyes wide open. That's why I really vouch for self-awareness, because it's the only way to live your life with eyes wide open. And if I was critical, it's because I was living intentionally, which is good because at least alam kong ginagawa ko, but also bad because you feel everything so much more.
Yes.
And that's also why I wrote it the way I wrote it, para may action points also for the readers, because especially in your 20s when you feel so lost, parang hindi mo na alam, tapos, ano na? Bakit, ano bang ginagawa ko? Paano ba to?
True.
Diba? So that's also why I really put worksheets at the end of every chapter.
Yes.
So you take the time to sit down and recognize everything you've been through, the mentors that you have in your life, the lessons that you don't know you're learning but you're learning, para maka-reflect ka rin talaga.
Parang hindi lang siya yung book na babasahin mo in one sitting. I think it's a very impractical way to absorb your book, given na parang it's the same book na ano ba, first book na nabasa ko nung high school is yung Purpose Driven Life. Parang it's kind of same pattern na hindi mo ma-appreciate yung libro if you read it in one sitting. Basically, right. Mas ma-appreciate mo siya if you take the time per chapter, pause, reflect, then saka ka mag-move on to the next. Kapag na-realize mo na tama na you also feel the sentiments ng author. And for sure, one of the happiest moments of your career nung na-publish yung book, the moment you were able to announce na you have published a book recently lang. I think it was published recently. Last 2022 lang, yes. And given the reviews, ano yung mga reviews na nag-stuck out sa'yo from people who have read your book?
I think One was that it really helped them through a bad breakup. And I think that's, alam mo yun,
Mhm.
it sounds cliche, but I really wanted also to be there for the people who didn't know what happened next. Na parang,
Mhm.
what do I do after this long relationship? How do I find myself again? How do I rebuild from here?
Yeah.
So that's one. Another review is that even boys have something to learn from it. I market it as something for the 20s, something very feminine, like even with the colors, right? But
Yes.
it's interesting to me when a guy picks up the book and even in my narration, meron pa rin siyang natututunan. So
Mhm.
parang it's insight in a female's mind, if you will.
Yes.
That's another interesting one. And then another one was actually from a screenplay writer
Oh, wow.
who emailed me. I won't say who, but
Yes.
sabi niya na sobrang na-intriga daw siya sa book that ang dami niyang movies na parang na plot, na draft
Mhm.
because of everything that had happened na parang
Oh,
it's a
nice.
different way of looking at it. So
Mhm.
it nakaka-warm talaga siya ng heart na okay, at least merong napatutunguhan.
Yes. If ever ba, how would you feel if may magsabi sa yung director na, can we adapt your book into a movie? Tulad ng mga ginawang book adaptations ng mga famous books before.
I think I'd be very happy.
Mm.
I'm very open to that. And I think my bigger problem would be to not be too
Yeah.
try to control the
Mhm.
outcome or the output.
Mhm.
I think mas yun yung magiging kailangan kong isipin.
Oo. Kasi for sure, sunod yun ay tatanong ng director, gusto mo bang maging artista? Gusto mo bang i-act out yung stories mo? Or may prefer kang artista na gaganap ng main character doon sa libro mo, which is you?
Oo. I think this was asked during the press con, and
Yes.
I do remember saying I wanted Nadine Lustre to be the one to be the main character. But for the guys, I actually don't have a leading man. I don't have a Steve for Nadine just yet. But definitely her. I feel like the way she is able to portray me fits well. She's strong-willed, clearly opinionated. She, doesn't have too much thoughts on what everyone else thinks about her. So parang it's easy. It seems natural or seamless, no? Na siya.
Yes. And also, one of the lines na tumatak sa akin on your book is that, what's mine will find me. So I think that was a direct quote from your book na kung saan, looking back, as I reflect, nakita ko na it is very similar dun sa sinasabi ng lahat na parang law of attraction. But on your case kasi, how proportional is the mindset na what's mine will find me, and yung katumbas ng efforts din na nilalabas natin. Kasi may mga tao na nagsasabi na, ay kung para sa akin yan. Pero wala namang ginagawa or not exerting any efforts to what they are doing. So is it a 50-50 perspective, or is it something more than that?
I think it's a 100-100 perspective. That's actually one of the conflicts in the book that you will face as a reader. But I think if you want something, you have to do everything in your power to make that happen, while accepting that pag nabigay mo na yung lahat, kung ano yung magiging outcome, yun yung para sa'yo talaga.
Yes.
But sometimes, hindi mo naman pwedeng ipilit ang tadhana.
Yes.
Gets? Parang kahit na gaano mo kagusto yung isang bagay, kung hindi siya para sa'yo, hindi talaga siya para sa'yo.
Yes.
Pero, hindi mo rin malalaman kung para sa'yo siya kung hindi mo bibigay yung 100% mo.
True.
So 100-100 talaga. Hindi ka pwedeng kumulang sa isa tapos bakit di ko nagawa.
True. Tapos saka mo sisisihin yung sarili mo na, if I could have done that one thing, baka nabago lahat. Mas okay nang wala nang ganung isipin after you've done something. Were there moments na naranasan mo na ba yung ganun? Kasi for sure, one person cannot share all of those learnings without experiencing the tragedy that come before it. So on your end, meron ka bang time na like, alam kong may nagawa pa sana ako?
Nagawa pa sana ako. I guess when I joined like a national pageant before,
Yes.
It's something that I really, really wanted. I gave, at least at the time, I gave 100% of myself. Syempre now, in retrospect, parang I'm seeing that there were things that I could have done better, but also at the time, it was my 100%. I didn't have, kung ano man yung kulang, I didn't have it to give yet.
Okay.
It's just now na nakuha ko na siya. Kung ngayon ako sumali, feeling ko I could have given it. Pero hindi, diba? So,
Yes.
dun ko sinasabi yung, if it's meant for you, it's meant for you. Because sometimes your trajectory is really different. You
Yes.
learn things and you achieve things in a different timeline, and that's okay.
True. Yeah. Kasi sometimes most of us are just feeling na if it doesn't go your way, parang nababad trip ka. Kasi parang people seem to have the mindset na everything should be planned out, and kung ano yung ma-planned out mo should be the one that will happen. Sometimes yes, kung palarin ka, pero minsan shit hits the fan, so parang you have to compromise, kailangan mo mag-adjust talaga. You have to accept na some things are never meant to be talaga. And parang iba na yung nagiging ano natin. Iba na yung so parang one of the main themes again ng book mo is about people who are in their 20s, early, mid, and late 20s. And based on your experiences or kakilala mo or someone special to you, ano yung mga nakikita mong mga magagandang ginagawa ng mga young adults ngayon? And ano naman yung mga nakikita mong hindi magandang ginagawa ng mga young adults ngayon? Kasi we've been so focused on the negative side of quarter life crisis. So for sure, baka maybe may mga nagagawa namang tama ang mga people like us who are in their 20s.
Marami naman. I think one thing is people are more progressive. So they take more accountability on the things that they do, the way that they live. People are more aware na decision ko to at paninindigan ko siya,
Yes.
which is a good thing. But I guess the bad side or the not so good side of it is because of that accountability, which is again a good thing. I firmly stand by it. People are more hypercritical of themselves. They're more they overanalyze everything. Parang instead of being in the moment and allowing life to happen to you, we are tiptoeing around eggshells or tiptoeing around our lives kasi we don't want to make mistakes, I think.
So parang it's a kind of a double-edged sword din pala yung ganong hyper-awareness. You're so aware na alam mong kaya mong proteksyonan yung oo, tapos you're so much aware din na hindi mo na rin na handle din yung sarili mo. I think there's parang tawag doon the paradox of self-awareness eh.
Yeah.
So parang that's very detrimental din. And speaking of awareness, and isa din sa mga kagandahan na impact ng magkakaroon tayo ng sense of awareness is that we are also aware sa nararamdaman ng mga tao. And sa pakakaalam ng mga lahat, especially sa mga nakikinig, is that you are also a charitable person na kung saan you've helped you've donated millions of pesos to underprivileged Filipinos. And in line with this question, as someone who have
hindi ako nag-donate ng millions.
hindi ka, sorry.
Na ako millionaire.
Nag-grace pala. Soon darating ang pagiging million. Soon darating yan. Manifest baga.
Ma-manifest natin yan. Pero guys,
manifest.
million.
Parang you were able to raise, your team were able to raise millions of pesos for underprivileged families as a part of a charitable cause. So parang I am intrigued to ask you this question. Given the rise of different content creators that focuses on helping other people, parang to the point na nagkaroon na tayo ng genre which is called poverty porn. What is your say na kung ano ang difference para masabi ng mga tao na ang isang gawa ay charitable or is it just for poverty porn?
What's the difference? Honestly, I'm not opposed to either. Only because you're right, may mga taong ganun. When I was younger, I guess I was highly opposed to it kasi parang feeling ko na you're just putting on a show, wala naman kayong paki talaga. Do you even know the people that you're helping? Do you even have a reason why you're helping them? And when I was younger, I was hypercritical about people who did that. But now the older I get, the more I realize that why parang discount the efforts, or why neglect the change or the impact that is being done just because it's not aligned with the intention that you want it to be. Parang at the end of the day, may napaaral ka, di ba? Regardless of whatever it is, at the end of the day, may mga pamilyang nakakain. At the end of the day, meron kang buhay na na-save. So, bakit mo kailangan i-discredit yun just because hindi mo parang feeling mo hindi santo yung intention ng tao?
Na yung tipong when you give something daw, dapat it should be solely from the bottom of your heart dahil gusto mo talaga tumulong. So parang, I think most people, yun ang nagiging expectations. That's why if it doesn't align with that mindset, exploitation agad ang nangyayari. Okay, so I appreciate that kind of perspective kasi parang that is, in this day and age, parang it's kind of a, ang tawag na to? Di naman brave statement, Susko. It's kind of a critical statement then to challenge those who are opposing it. So at least it gives it gives balance to the discussion na hindi lang siya negative, di lang siya puro negative. I think there's some light na meron din doon.
Yeah, I mean, like even with me, ilang beses kong pinag-isipan, kunwari, if I have a speaking engagement or I do a workshop or ayun nga, we do something for charity, sometimes I question if I wanna publish it, if I will allow media to cover it, kasi I don't want people to think na ginagawa ko lang to for the exposure or whatever, right? But also, I have to recognize privilege when it's there. Na there are so many people who don't get the same chance to raise awareness on something. And if I have that, why won't I take that stage? Why won't I take that platform to actually use my voice? Kasi papakinggan siya. Bakit ko kailangan itago sa shadows just because takot akong ma-judge ako? Alam ko naman sa sarili ko na genuine ako. Alam mo yun na as terrible or as critical or hyper like aware or whatever as it sounds, why remove or parang why will I not acknowledge that privilege and use my voice to be able to parang lend my voice to be able to raise awareness on something that's super important just because I'm afraid of the backlash.
Okay, and parang through that assessment shows that kung ano yung ano yung pagmamahal mo towards other people din. And parang in a short tangent, speaking of pagmamahal, and of course, one of the things na tinakil din ng one of the things na tinakil mo rin is love life. So we've talked about love for others, so let's talk about love life naman din. So pero of course, di naman kita chichikahin ng buong love life mo. it's a personal thing din. Pero one of the things na magandang pag-usapan din, especially in this modern generation, is that all about relationships, especially kakatapos lang ng Valentine's na maraming tao na jowang-jowa na, maraming tao na bitter. So parang there's two sides of the coin. But I would like to have your advice or your opinion on something na how easy it is to get into a relationship, and kasi maraming nagsasabi ngayon na ang hirap daw magka-jowa, tapos mga ganong bagay. Pero what does it take to enter a relationship? Ano yung mga dapat nating i-consider? Is it, okay, gusto mo ko, gusto kita, okay na, tapos na tayo. So,
wait lang. Your internet stopped for a bit.
Oh, okay na. Wala. Okay na?
Okay na, pero ang huli ko narinig.
Di mo narinig? Sige. I'll just repeat the question na lang din. So parang yun nga, the question for this one, speaking of love life, is that people are, yun nga, so especially kakatapos lang ng Valentine's, may mga tao na jowang-jowa na, bitter na bitter. But the question I would like to ask you is that, how easy it is to get into a relationship? Kasi may mga tao na takot mag-enter in a relationship, may mga tao naman na ang alam lang nila, hi, hello, tayo na, go. So usually, based on your experience or based on the experience of other people na sinasabi sa'yo, how do people enter a relationship in a healthy way naman? Kasi I think it matters din naman sa mga couples eh.
I mean, I think entering a relationship, that part is easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's staying in that relationship that really takes a lot of work. And I think that is true regardless of how nice your partner is,
Mm-hmm.
especially kung long-term relationship ka. Because makikisama ka with someone who is super different, who was raised super differently, and you're gonna have to live up to that promise forever, diba? So parang
Yes.
hirap siya. But I think when it comes to entering a relationship, at least if you want that relationship to be healthy, you also have to be aware of the baggage that you carry, because we all have it. We all have baggage to carry. It's just a matter of finding someone who loves you enough to be willing to unpack it with you. Yun talaga yun. And when I say unpack, it doesn't mean itambak mo lahat sa kanya. It's
Mm-hmm.
more of, it has to be an open dialogue between the both of you. Na, okay, here are the things that I'm currently dealing with. If you think that those things will hurt the next person, then don't enter a relationship kasi hindi ka pa ready.
Mm-hmm.
Parang don't enter a relationship kasi you need someone to solve your problems. Enter that relationship because you know that despite your baggage, you are able to engage with another human being and support them regardless. Na hindi mo gagamitin yung baggage mo as an excuse na kasi yung ex ko cheated on me kaya wala na akong tiwala sa mga lalaki or whatever it is, you know.
Yung parang nagmamanifest yung insecurities mo sa partner mo. So parang that is a very detrimental sign. And at the same time, anong tawag na to? Madaming lumalabas, madaming debates. I'm sure you're aware of this sa social media na yung mga sinasabi na if they want to, they will, or sige na nga, if he wants to, he will, kasi nakatarget sa lalaki yung quotes na laging ganon. If it wants to, he will. So parang there's two sides of the argument na yes, pag gusto daw talaga ng tao na magstay, mag-continue, talaga mag-stay siya. Pero may mga iba naman na nagsasabi na antag na to, may ibang nagsasabi na you also have to tell the person, you have to be clear na if they want to stay din talaga, parang kailangan mapag-usapan din siya. So on your case, where do you stand between the two sides of people na ganun ang tingin sa relationships, especially sa part ng deciding whether to stay dun sa relationship na yun?
Right. I mean, okay, so if he wants to, he will. I believe in it. But I think, to be fair to the guys, how will he make a decision if he doesn't have all the information? The same way we all make decisions, diba? So if there are factors that he doesn't know, yung decision-making skills niya are not full. So you as the woman are also responsible of communicating all the facts to him para alam niya basically kung anong pinagde-decidean niya. I think the reason why Steve and I also work is because we try our best to not leave room for gray area. Now, if there's something that I want from him, I actually go out there and say it so that he is not left guessing na, okay, you wanted lang pala date night or you wanted pala na sunduin kita. Alam mo yun, sometimes it's little things because we also want the feeling that we are pursued, that, you know, you're there for us, that you're thinking about us. And as counterintuitive as it sounds, sometimes we have to say it only because men and women are built differently.
Yes.
And it's hard to make guys guess. Tapos may inis kapag hindi niya na-gets. Parang, makahula ba ako? Diba? The same way na kunwari, I'm mad at him about something. Obviously, I tell him that I'm not in the mood to talk to you right now. Let me gather myself and then I'll come back when parang I'll let you know when I'm ready to talk about it. And he gives me my space and then I do tell him na, okay, you know what, I don't appreciate when you do this. Yeah, we're pretty objective about it only because I genuinely care for Steve as a person outside of our relationship also. And ang hirap naman to be there for someone who doesn't allow you to see how to be there for them.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, I think I veer more on the side of communication because yun, we can't and they can't make the decision to stay if they don't know what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yung tipong, ano tawag nito, nalala ko tuloy yung memes na nakita ko na, ano yung tawag nito, direct, open communication, pero hulaan mo kung bakit ako nagagalit.
Oh, diba? Ang
Okay.
labo.
Oh, diba? Yeah, I remember that, that meme. Pero, it's very interesting to say that kasi in relationships, based on from experience din and sinasabi ng parents ko na, before entering a relationship, each one of you, of your partner, begins as an individual.
Yeah.
You were both individuals. Now, while you are in a relationship, how much of your individuality remains and how much of it do you compromise for the sake of your partner?
I think my individuality remains 100%. If anything, Steve and I work in tandem. He is also still 100% of himself. And I think this one has been crucial for me in choosing a partner because I've tried to do the whole compromise myself so that I can fit as a partner to that person. And it really doesn't work. Hindi siya sustainable talaga. Because buong buhay mo gagawin yun, sure? Sure ka na ba dyan? Di ba na?
Yeah.
Ka forever. Or you're gonna neglect a part of you. I think the compromise comes into the everyday things. Like, kunwari, let's keep it simple. Like, okay, where are we gonna go for dinner today? Right? Kung today ako, tomorrow ikaw, Steve and I try to compromise na parang take turns tayo or who's paying tonight. Alam mo yun? So,
Yes.
I think I'm a bit more progressive when it comes to that, but I'm highly crucial about I need to be with someone who respects the fact that I know who I am and I will not change who I am to fit whoever they want me to be.
Yes, and it kind of goes both ways, di ba?
Yeah.
Dapat ganun din siya sa'yo at ganun ka din sa kanya. Okay. And
Ayan, nasa gym pa rin siya.
Speaking of a progressive vision or a progressive mindset, my question for you for this, as a millennial author, technically, yeah, you're still a millennial author.
I'm a millennial, yeah.
Yes, as a millennial author na nag-release ng book in an age na kung saan people are less and less inclined to read. What is your hope for aspiring and future young authors na darating sa mga susunod na taon?
Dreams are evergreen. I've always believed in that. And sometimes the mechanisms change, which is okay. But I do believe that if you know yourself enough, you will, the mechanism will be revealed to you. You know yourself enough, you understand what you want. The how is easy. It comes easy. And if you believe in something strong enough, you're gonna find a way to make it work. So, yun, for example, a lot of people said na, bakit hindi na lang gawing vlog or bakit hindi na lang ebook? So I said na, okay, ebook version naman, pero inuna talaga namin yung physical copies. Only because it's still different and the people that I'm trying to reach are people who value their time alone, people who value still writing on paper, smelling every page of the book, people who value having something to hold when they travel on their own. Iba kasi yung comfort na nabibigay sa'yo ng tangible book.
Yes,
Kasi alam mo, ka, diba?
I 100% agree na mas komportableng mag-flip ng pages sa book kaysa mag-flip ng pages ng tablet or ng cellphone. At minsan mas eyes training pa eh. Okay.
Pag magsusulat ka pa ng notes mo, diba?
Oh, true. Ang hirap pati pag naka-screen. Tapos pag, ang sinasabi nga daw ng iba, which I personally agree, ang disadvantage lang daw ng hard copy ng isang book is wala daw na dark mode ang libro. Pero I think that's just part na lang din.
Flashlight.
Flashlight na lang din. Okay. So with that said, Miss Zara, thank you so much for this wonderful conversation. This has been one of the most meaningful interviews I had this year. So thank you so much for sharing your ideas to us, to our listeners.
Loko ko, pa lang eh.
Ha? Uy, wag na. Parang,
Pero thank you.
yung tipong, hala, binuking ako. And then, pero yeah, parang yun, I already told you why this interview means a lot to me. Na this again reignited one of my passions after experiencing tragedy din. So thank you so much, Ms. Zara. And to those who are listening, you can support Ms. Zara. Purchase her book, please. Buy her book. Huwag kayong maghanap ng free PDF online. Huwag kayong mamirata. The link for Bookshelf PH ay nasa comment down below sa Spotify, nasa description sa Facebook. Alam nyo na yan. So, this has been your host, PJ, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. And